And we are live. Welcome back, everybody, to the Daily Advantage podcast. We're here. It's just me and Logan today. Logan, where have you been, man?
It's been a while.
Been a couple Mondays.
Yeah, it's been a while. I got recently moved out of my house, so that's really what's been taking up most of my time. And
Yeah,
it's the first time it's ever happened, so it's a lot to do.
big jump.
Yeah, a lot had to set up, and I think we just got finished with our boxes. Like we now are down to like 2 boxes we have left to
So
unpack.
like about a week of. That's actually pretty good.
Yeah, and then balancing school, work on top of that. This stuff.
Yeah, there's a lot.
Yeah, it's fun to start juggling things.
Yeah, is it nice though?
Yeah, it's nice. It's definitely you just control's my biggest thing, and being more in control of my life is just what makes me happy. And
Yeah,
I feel like I kind of just feel like I'm more relaxed just as a person, just not worrying about like my parents and what they think and stuff like that. And
yeah.
yeah.
Even though on the surface level you have like a lot more things to do, and
Oh yeah.
that's
I like being busy as well. I hate just sitting around. I mean, there's always times where I just want to be lazy, but I like having stuff to do and stuff to look forward to.
Yeah.
Responsibility just gets me out of the bed every day.
Yeah, that's awesome. So the move, we just finally kind of got back into some Daily Advantage stuff. We had a pretty long day yesterday. It'll be a couple days by the time you guys hear the podcast, but we were doing what we did, lightsabers, like Jedi stuff, all for the demo reel, because we're currently working on the damn demo reel, and we're trying to make sure it's like really good and blow it out of the park. So yeah, we were doing that, and that was
And I feel like Jedi stuff is the easiest, most basic form just to get into a little bit of visual effects.
yeah, we started doing that like in March area.
You've seen that video.
Yeah. So we did that a little bit, and then we wanted to have some like cinematic, like almost storyboarded shots.
Yeah.
So Logan was pimped out in a leather jacket and a Jedi robe and Tim's, and
Slaying some younglings.
it was a sweaty day. Logan, it was like 80 degrees, but Logan was in like 4 layers.
I mean, we started with uphill mile hikes, so.
Yeah, we walked up on like, I mean, it looked sick though. The area was nuts.
Yeah, if you look out for the vlog coming.
Yeah, we
You'll
have
see the
the
raw
Instagram. You'll see some photos of it.
finished shots, and we're probably going to do a little bit of editing breakdown later on of just like getting those visual effects and getting how we go from that flat video to that final shot,
Yeah.
because there's like the shooting and the editing, and that's all among itself, because the
Two
shooting
different
part,
worlds.
the toughest part was the planning, and then the
Yeah.
editing is just
Time consuming and thought out, and a
like,
slow process.
yeah, it's basically just how much you care about it, and how
Yeah.
much you can make it look any way you want. It's just how much effort you want to put in.
What do you think about the new camera?
The Black Magic.
Yeah.
I mean, it's
Like, because we haven't shot a lot with it, but I mean, what do you think off the rip? Just from that, we've had it for like what, 2 months now,
Yeah.
and we've been really starting to use it recently. What do you think?
I've never experienced a cinema camera before, but this is my first experience with it. But I'd say that's probably an underpriced camera. Just it's
Yeah,
honestly incredible, and especially
$2,000.
yeah, you got it on sale, so
Yeah,
I mean that's the price of my
A7 III.
yeah, price of my A7 III, and you can get so much more out of that. I mean,
I think it's a niche camera. It's not.
it's like the indie filmmaker
Yeah.
go-to.
It's not a. I need you to take photos. Like, it doesn't take photos, or it does, but they're like really weird, and you can't actually see them, and it's like they're not actual photos. It doesn't have like a mirror. I think it's a. I did a lot of research, and like when I went into buying it, it was really scary, because I was like, there's people that say this is a great camera, and there's people that say this is a terrible camera, and I think it's like you have to sacrifice things. Obviously, we have to sacrifice the Canon autofocus, the Sony like colors, and that, and like the speed and how small it is. I mean, it's 12 freaking pounds when we have it fully kitted. So it's but the image quality
Yeah.
is just crazy.
While we're on gear, let's talk like you buying gear, because you do most of the gear buying for our company, and like what do you look for? I mean, you obviously there's certain necessities you need, but like, I mean, how do you go about doing that? And
I mean, in the beginning, it was a lot of trial and error. Like, the first camera I bought was a Canon T6, and I ended up returning it like a month later and taking like a $200 or like a $50 loss, and then paying an extra 200 than what I paid for the T6i because it didn't have good video. It didn't have a flip out screen. It had bad autofocus. So it was like, that was before I knew anything, but it seems to be like the Blackmagic, and like right now we are in a place where we're expensing, where we're purchasing expensive gear, but things that are at the top of the line, things that like the tripod that we just bought for the Blackmagic is going to last us 2, 3, 4 years, where before it was like a crappy video tripod. So I think it's like you reach a point where it's like, okay, I want this, and we're at a point where it's like, we need this, like, you know what I mean?
I feel like it's looking more toward the long term rather than short term.
For sure. Yeah, and the problem with that is usually it requires you to cough up more money.
Yeah.
Like, I could have bought a camera that shot 4K, with like trade-offs, and most of them have some level of trade-offs. This camera has trade-offs. It's not a red. It doesn't have 16 stops of dynamic range, but it has 13 and a half, and it has a terrible battery life unless you get a V mount, and then you have to make it 12 pounds, and then your rig's $4,000 versus the original two. But I think comparatively it was a steal. We've used it for every shoot since. We've used it on 3 weddings, like a couple of events, all the stuff for Exercise Simple. But it's killing it. We use it for every podcast because it's stunning. Like the video is nuts, and it's so versatile, and I can use it super stripped down and just replace the batteries every 40 minutes, like when I go to Maine here in a couple days. And then we can use it for a professional shoot and shoot 6K raw, and like, I don't know. It's my baby.
Is there any like piece of gear that you regret buying, like before like we were in that amateur phase?
Yeah, there's a bunch. A slider. I bought the big slider's nice. It's still probably not good enough for this rig. It's good, but it's not motorized. It's basic. It's like a newer one, but I went on a trip to my first trip to Jacksonville on a wedding years ago. It was like 2.5 years ago, and that's crazy. But anyway, when I went on that shoot, I was like, man, I really want to get a couple slider shots. So I just coughed up like $45 for a newer slider that's like 16 inches long.
Yeah, I'm like,
and it's so dumb. Like, it was such a bad buy. And I was like, man, this is going to be sick because I need it to fit in my carry-on. And I thought it was going to be so dope. And then it moves, like, not that far.
It's like it's a range of your arms.
Yeah.
It's less than that, but
it was a bad buy. But I actually just sold that. And I only lost, like, $5. I made out okay. But, yeah, I mean, I think our issue was we were broke. We're still broke. But, like, we didn't have the money to buy stuff that was above or at the standard.
Yeah.
For the longest time. Now we're finally there somewhat. Even now, we just bought that camera, and that camera's already old.
And I feel, I feel like getting stuff that's below what the market standard is taught us to like do more with what we have.
Yes.
Not shelling
100%.
Yeah, because there's people who rely on like their gear, and there's people who rely on their skills.
Yeah, we've made great videos with the Canon T6i, with the 80D, like with these cameras that people say are outdated, and that's a great point. Just bringing up like, it's what you make of it. If you think it's going to be, you can't just rely on it shooting 6K. If you don't know how to use this camera, you're not going to get any good footage.
Yeah.
Because it's a hard camera to use, and it's super niche, and it's super specific. But if you like put in the time and then learn it and fail with it a lot and shoot hundreds of gigs of footage that you don't like, and then it's like this whole trial and error process. But we were using that T6i to like 110% of what it was capable of.
The shit out of that.
Oh, yeah. I mean, most of the gear, I haven't had any really bad, like, terrible buys.
Yeah.
I mean, there's things get old, and I mean, really last year, 2019 was the year I was like, I'm not making sacrifices. Like with the Zoom and like the lav mics we use, obviously with the camera we use, the drone, I was like, I'm not about to put us in a situation where in a couple months, somebody needs something and we can't do it because I didn't cough up an extra $50, $100, $200. But it's a weird mindset you have to be in.
That's another thing where it's like a business expense now, so you have to make sure it's working for everything.
We have to know, and then, taxes are going to be very interesting this year because I'll have taxes for Garner Films
and
for DAM, and I'm going to have to make sure that they're separate.
You're gonna have to do like your own personal taxes since you're not in a job currently, but you started the year in a job.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah, you do taxes for any income you earned.
great.
Yeah, which is a good segment to what we've been talking about this recently. Both I think everybody, including Chris, has been getting into investing a little bit. On Robinhood, we've talked about it last podcast with Chris, and actually ended the podcast with Drew and Chris downloading Robinhood because we had talked about it. But Logan, what do you think about just investing, investing as a whole, investing when you're young? Like, what do you think? And what are you currently doing? What's your mindset around that? Because we're not experts by any means, but what do you think?
First thoughts, it's scary. It's just you never know what's gonna happen. I mean, it's
Yes,
just doing research and putting the time in, and if you don't, you're gonna pay for it.
literally.
At a young age, I highly recommend it because there's obviously options where if you put in a little bit of money, it can grow if you're just patient. And
I think patience has got to be number one.
yeah,
Because like there was an instance a month ago, because me and Andy have really been getting it. We've really been doing it for like 2 months now on Robinhood. Just low. I mean, we have a little bit of money in there, but like there was a point where Andy was down $150, and
what?
yeah,
Jesus.
I don't know what he wasn't like in debt $150, but
Yeah,
he was down. Let's say he had let's say he had $1,000. He was down 150, and he freaked out
and pulled it.
pulled it. He sold. And for those of you who don't know the basics of investing and the stock market, is you buy low and you sell high. That is your profit. And he bought what he thought was high, and it wasn't. It dropped. Freaked out. I don't know why he freaked out, because the stock market fluctuates unless the company goes bankrupt, and then they go to zero, and then you lose all your money. But even then, like, you should still be patient, because if that money's going to zero, it doesn't matter how long you wait.
Well, one thing to keep in mind is you don't invest, how much you're willing to lose. Like you gotta.
Yeah.
I mean, I only have like 350 in my Robinhood account because that's all I'm willing to take a hit from. If I lose
Yeah.
all that, I'll still be okay. But if I put $1,000 in, I'm not
Then
gonna
you're
be too
getting into
happy.
dangerous territory.
Yeah.
Yeah, and that's what it comes down to. But the whole thing was not dissing Andy or anything. He's actually made all of his money back. Shout out Andy, but he just he I mean, we were very nervous. It was very nervous watching your money fluctuate. Now I'm in a better mindset. Like right now, my portfolio might be down a couple bucks, but I'm not gonna just sell everything and because it fluctuates and then it goes back up, and then you're up $130, and then you're down 50. Because that's how the market works.
It's all about thinking long term too. You just gotta focus on
Yes.
the long term goal.
Yeah. The thing that I've been really, really interested in is dividend stocks and kind of medium paying dividends on the blue chip stocks, which are like the
Apples,
big boys,
Disneys.
the guys that aren't going anywhere, like Johnson and Johnson, Coke, Pepsi, stuff like that, and also ETFs, because those are long range. They're averaged out. Like the S&P 500 ETFs are super nice because it shows you what the market's doing, and 9 times out of 10 when my S&P 500 ETF is up, most of my stocks are up. When it's down, most of them are down, because that's just how it works. It's also a really weird time because there's all these stock splits happening. The economy's still not quite back to what it was.
Yeah.
It's definitely climbing. I wish we would have started this in March. We could have been up a lot of money right now, but we didn't. But whatever. But yeah, not high dividend, but dividend paying stocks are really interesting, because basically what it is a company pays a certain percent. The sweet spot that I found is around 2.5 to 3%. Anything over that, you're getting a little risky. And basically what they do is, if you have $100 invested in this company, they either do it quarterly. Most of them do it quarterly, or some do it at the end of the year. And so then they'll pay you that percent over the course of a year. And then if they pay it quarterly, then it just divides by 4. But so if you had $100 in X, at the end of the year, they would pay you $2.50. But the thing about that is, if you drip that back into it, then that starts adding up, and then you're making more on that percent. And that's not to say that the stock doesn't grow. So most of these things that you're looking at, these dividends, are companies that really aren't going anywhere. because a lot of the volatile ones, like even Tesla's worth a crap ton of money right now. Their stock is crazy through the roof, but their PE ratio is also really through the roof. They're super volatile. There's a lot of people losing money and making money because it's just all over the place. And they don't pay dividends. If they paid dividends, it would be crazy, and they would probably go bankrupt or something because that would be a lot of money that would have to go out.
Yeah.
But so that's what we're doing. We're probably gonna end up making some things about our like plays for the week, maybe some news based around some of the things that we own. But that is to come in a couple of weeks because I'm actually going to Maine.
Yeah.
Um,
Where are you going in Maine?
I don't even know. The place that we're staying is in New Hampshire, right on the border, and we're actually going to go up the coast, take 2 days, and just see a bunch of places. You're going to go to Boston for a day, and then we're staying on some lake in New Hampshire. But then we're going to go up and see a friend in Maine, and we're probably most of the sightseeing places are actually going to be in Maine. But I'm excited.
Yeah.
I think it's going to look sick.
I've never been up north, so.
Yeah, neither. Neither have I.
Good stuff to shoot, just like that pre-fall period.
It is, yeah. I have a feeling it's going to be good. And the temperature hopefully is going to be relatively cool. But, it'll probably be a hurricane because it's 2020.
Yeah.
Or like a Sharknado or something.
So, since we talk to mostly people just about, like, themselves when we have guests on,
Yeah.
I don't really get to talk to other creatives. So, creatively, how are you doing just mentally? Where you at? Are you just... this question's weird. Just trying to find my words. Just are you? Oh wow, this is gonna be a big part to cut out.
Yeah, it's going to be a weird cricket period.
Crickets, added them in. Just
Like, am I like burnt out? Am I?
yeah. Do you feel burnt out at all, like creatively, or since like with doing business, keeping on the business end, are you just, feeling burnt out creatively? Are you still like just shooting stuff for yourself for fun, or
A little bit. I mean, it's weird because everything's very strange right now. We can't go a lot of the places that we would go. Like with TDA, we're not going to these places and we're not having all these guests on. So there's not like that constant workflow. With Damn, however, I mean, it's also super weird because we're just a startup business. So like we're super volatile. Some weeks we'll have 3 jobs and a lot of money. Other weeks we'll have none because, we're just building this business. So I tend to stay pretty motivated. And I felt a burnt-ish out period. Definitely right when the world ended in like March.
yeah,
Because it's like we just stuck.
yeah,
That really sucked. I mean, because like there was definitely a month where I was in like definitely like a creative depression and kind of an emotional depression because it was like we couldn't do anything. We literally couldn't go anywhere, and we had been doing every single day for 3 months,
yeah,
and it was a lot of freaking fun. And we did so much, and the podcast was growing, and then it was just like,
yeah.
so that was definitely a punch in the gut. But right now, I mean, I definitely like working on stuff. There's so much going on right now with Damn, with TDA now, with us looking to move, and
Yeah.
there's a lot. So there's a lot to look forward to in that sense.
We've been pretty blessed with like our jobs at giving us creative control. Like they're just trusting, leaving the creative efforts to the creative people.
Yeah, you always have some clients that they, this is what they're doing, this is what we do,
Yeah.
and a story, but for the most part. But that's kind of how we browned it. That's how we brand it as well. I like our team is super creative and we can do a lot and bring a lot to the table that most people don't look for. A lot of clients that I've seen when we bring stuff up to them, they're like, I never would have thought of that.
Yeah.
And I like that about our team, and we can offer a lot of different things, and we're like a Swiss Army knife, really. That's how I think Damn is, and I don't know about you, but I'm happy with what we're doing right now.
Yeah.
We're building, and it goes slow, but that's how it goes.
Then again, patience.
Yeah, back to patience.
But so as we're coming out of this COVID world and things are slowing down, so do you have any plans for Damn and TDA? Do we think, what's our strategy coming out? Because we never really talked about that.
Yeah. Well, I think we definitely know that advertising is going to be big. To be successful nowadays, you're not buying billboards. You're buying ad spend on Facebook and Instagram, LinkedIn, um, that kind of stuff. So I mean, we're working on the demo reel right now because I want to have a kick-ass website before we start sending people to it, which I think is the best play. Because I don't want to half-ass that for our clients, especially.
Definitely not.
So we're taking this time on the demo reel, and it's gonna look sick when it comes out, and that'll be a couple months in the making, actually. And then once that comes out, then I think we'll push into an advertising phase, which will probably be 3, 4, 5 different ads that get run. It could be simultaneously, focused at different demos, focused on like different themes. And then we'll
Markets.
see, we'll see which one, we'll see how they do, what we can adjust. We'll make adjustments, do that kind of stuff on the low budget side, figure out, find out percents, numbers, that kind of stuff, compare, and then we'll put some ad spend money into that. On top of that, it's networking. I mean, we have a couple of clients, especially Steve. Steve has a really big reach up in Loudoun County, so from them, it's you have to, with this kind of stuff. Very rarely do people come to you. And if they do, it's because you've already built a name for yourself. Like I know with weddings, the only way that somebody's going to want to get you for a wedding is if they see your weddings, for the most part. Or they get a recommendation or something like that.
Yeah, it's a big deal, so they have to trust you.
Yeah. So it's building, you have to build brand on the website. You have to build brand on every video you do, on your social media, and that kind of stuff.
Yeah. What you said, like, going to people instead of having them come to you. That's a big thing. I mean, we just got like 2 new clients just DMing, like I think I DM'd like 15 people
Artists,
and 2 people respond, and I mean obviously you have to have something to show for it still. I sent them like a little reel.
Yeah.
Like a 30-second clip, and
that was like a 2-day thing, and we there's definitely connections coming from that, which is pretty cool.
I mean, imagine if we did that like every day, like 400 people.
I know.
The scale of it would just be a little bit more, just,
Yeah, a lot more. Yeah. So we're working on Dam, and I mean, it's so weird. It's so interesting that you brought up your entrepreneurship class, because like
before the
podcast, we were setting it up, and he's like, "Yeah, I take this entrepreneurship class." Andrew takes actually the same class, and it's at a different school, but it's so weird to me. Because I don't know how your curriculum is, obviously, but it's so weird that it's a taught thing that people think. Because the vast majority of entrepreneurs say that you can't teach this stuff.
No.
I mean, what do you think? You've seen the building of this business. That's nothing you ever learned.
Definitely learn more from experience in the classroom in every sense, every case. I mean, even with marketing, I took a marketing class last semester, and I mean, some things were true, some things were helpful, but it never really pertained to what's happening right now.
It's always outdated, I feel.
Because I remember every time I wanted to talk about social media marketing for like a paper or something like that, because that's like the big deal. I feel like the teachers were pretty turned off by that, and they just
so weird.
weren't like going with it, and
Man, I wish I could take one of those classes and just like shit on the curriculum.
I know.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like write a paper and be like, "This is why you're wrong in every sense of the word marketing." Yeah. Like, weren't they still teaching like billboards and shit?
Yeah.
Like billboards and fucking. That's so dumb. That's not pertaining to anything that we do.
You know how much a billboard and like
they're so expensive. They're like $20,000 a month.
No, it's like $60,000 a month
What?
in downtown DC. To get a billboard, it's like $60,000 a month.
You know how much you could do? You know how many videos you could make with $60,000 a month?
Yeah.
Whoever's doing that, please email us. We can help you for a third of that. I can help you for $20,000 a month. I guarantee it.
I mean, I don't even know like how. I don't even look up when I'm driving sometimes.
I've seen a couple of ads, but it's never to the extent where I'm like, you know what? That still billboard photoshopped. I'm gonna look that company up.
I wish I would have lived a little bit in the 90s just to understand like how
that was definitely a thing.
How people thought like before social media, like how like what their mindset was choosing like what business
Locations.
to go to for this, and
yeah,
like that's something I kind of have to understand now. Just like what draws me to go here instead of here.
I mean, I think honestly for me, when I search a topic, this is definitely because Google's stealing my information. But when I look at like when I was interested in a standing desk,
Mhm.
before I ordered it, obviously I go to YouTube, best budget standing desk, extra large.
Mhm.
You know, I look it up. Google they steal my information. Then they start feeding me ads. I mean, that's how it goes. You can talk about like sandals, and boom, you get things for sandals. I talked about that in the one podcast, but you mostly see ads online.
Yeah.
And it's kind of a weird thing because, yeah, they're stealing your crap. They know what you're looking at. They know what you're talking about. At the same time, I kind of appreciate it.
I'm more likely to click on an ad in like social media rather than when I'm scrolling through YouTube.
Yeah. Or you see it on the TV and then you look it up. No way.
Well,
You never do
yeah,
that unless it's another show and then there's an app for that show. Like Netflix or something like
I
that.
did that once with a TV ad, but
Really?
yeah,
What was it?
it was Daily Harvest. I mean, it just made me think of my girlfriend because it was like these nice like vegan meals, but they looked delicious, and made an order of it. I mean, the price point was not worth what the food was, but I mean, it was delicious.
Was it?
Yeah.
Too expensive though?
Yeah. Oh yeah. It was like $70 for like 5 meals.
Whew.
Not 5 meals. It was more like yeah, it was more like 6 meals, but we got each
Still.
three apiece. Yeah.
Yikes.
Yeah.
Wait, $70 for 6 meals for one person?
6 meals, but like me and her were splitting that order.
So was it enough?
I mean, yeah,
Okay, then that's not terrible. That's like $7 a person.
yeah.
You know how much food you can get at Bach Hotel for $7?
Yeah, I know. You're king there.
I am the Bach Hotel king.
Taco Bell.
If you don't know about Taco Bell, you got to go to Taco Bell and go to their value menu because you can spend me and Andy spend $4 and we both make out like champions. Get the cups of water too, they're free. That's the play, man. I'm gonna do a budget video one day. Me and Andy are just gonna go around.
I mean, if we're getting
like,
into
thrift.
investing,
Yeah.
we just do a finance video.
Yeah, we should do yes, we should because you're gonna know about it. Given that now that you have
Yeah.
the house, obviously you have to finance. You're not made of money.
Yeah, I was telling you guys yesterday we were on that shoot, and you're like, "Let's go to GT's." I'm like, "I don't have GT's money. I want to sit in the car."
Yeah, yeah. I try. That was the first time I splurged this week, so
Yeah.
you'd be happy to hear that.
Oh yeah.
But yeah, that's an interesting mindset as well. Financing and minimalism, like, and I think it's an interesting conversation that me and my girlfriend have a lot because we're looking at moving out and I'm looking at leaving. Let's say, obviously I have to take all the camera gear.
Mhm.
That's a necessity for my business. But besides that, I want to take maybe 5% of my material possessions.
Yeah.
You know?
When I moved out, I was so surprised at how much I had. Just
That you just didn't bring.
I just stuff I had. It was so small. I did not have that much stuff. The clothes were the majority of it. That was
yeah.
pretty much
And,
it.
you can't avoid that to an extent.
I
too.
didn't take like any furniture at all. Just like
I think it's the little things. The little things, they mess with me because, like, I don't know. This has been a thing in my head because we've been figuring out how we're gonna finance and how we're gonna budget and stuff like that, and looking at rent, looking at different places and different areas and different costs pertaining to those different areas. And it's like, I don't want to have things that, like, little trinkets and dumb shit from like my childhood that, like, how often do you look at those things?
well, it's not in the money sense. That's a good thing, but even in like a minimal like just personal preference sense, like I know my girlfriend, she hates having a bunch of useless stuff. She does not like she doesn't want stuff on the walls. It doesn't have to be like, it's all about like just making that space her own. And we
does
obviously
it work for her.
yeah, we obviously agree on the things, and
Yeah.
she understands that like if I want this, I want this, but but it's better just for energy not have all that clutter. Because I remember like when I was in my room, every time I would clean my room, I felt like it was something coming off my chest, just seeing like just all that space and how clear it is, and just like I felt like
Yeah, it definitely is.
creatively it got better too, and like I was more willing to do homework and just having that clear mindset. I mean, just sort of like that energy coming from the room. It sounds kind of weird.
It definitely no, that's a thing.
Yeah.
That's 100% a thing. It was the same way when I was figuring out my desk. Like when you get a nice desk set up and you get those lights going, those lights might be, there's an aura to the room,
Yeah, I mean, like,
and that's what I hate about my rooms because it's like I have a pretty decent sized room, but I have a lot of stuff that I'm not too worried. Like if I was gonna be there for the next 5 years, I'd get rid of a lot of it and scale it down a lot, and I'm so excited for when we move out because it's gonna be like I need one desk and maybe a table for all my stuff, and that's it. Like,
yeah,
my bed's on the floor right now. I don't want a bed stand because I think it turns, it creates useless space in the room, and I don't know. I like the minimalist lifestyle. I like not being attached to things as well, because that's the other thing. Like it's weird saying that, but then also owning $20,000+ in gear.
There's a necessity.
Yeah, and it's weird saying that, but like I've had mental conflicts where I was like, I should sell all this shit. Like, I should sell $15,000 worth of gear, have one camera, have two lenses, have one bag,
Yeah.
have a laptop, and just like,
Yeah.
this is like a dilemma that I've always had, because at the same time I'm like, when I buy things, most of the time it's like, okay, can we use this for the business? Yes, that makes it easier to buy, and then you have to budget it, and then you gotta. It's such a weird thing. I don't know if there's any like creatives listening to this, reach out and just let us know what you think about this, because I want to know if this is like a creative thing. Do you ever feel this?
What?
Like that feeling with, because
oh yeah.
yeah, it's weird.
Another thing about my apartment is it has like high ceilings. That gives the illusion of way more space, which is what drawed me to it like initially.
That is nice. Yeah.
Also, do your dogs ever like look off into the distance nowhere?
Sometimes.
Okay.
Not often.
Okay, because like my building's built in the 1800s. Like,
Oh, there's some ghosts in there, son.
I've seen the cats just staring into nowhere for like a lot, and
Really?
even when there's like stuff going on, like something that would obviously like catch their attention or
They
something
just
like
don't.
that. They're just staring out into something that like
What do they stare at usually? It's like a corner.
not corners, just walls, and they'll just like it's not just like staring out into space. It's that then their eyes
It's
start
like
following
they're looking
something.
at something.
Yeah, which is weird.
Whoa.
I mean like cats have cats and animals
have that sense.
they have they can see different. They have more cones, so maybe they can see shit. But just wondered. My house might be haunted. Might need to go sage when I get after this.
I need to call the Ghostbusters. I mean, have you had any weird experiences?
No, not really.
That's good.
Oh, actually, yeah, I have. I've heard steps above my apartment, but
Are you
there's
on the top floor?
Oh, I'm on the top floor. There's like no room for an attic.
Is there anything above you though?
There's no room for an attic.
Like on the top of the building? Is there anything?
No.
Nothing?
No.
Well, I don't know. That's kind of cool.
You ever had any ghost experiences, just like in general?
Not really. We've had a couple in Fort Ritchie. Well, what am I talking about? Forest Haven.
No, wait. Remember last summer we were in that field shooting with the active
And
life
the phone.
product? Yeah.
The phone.
Yeah.
Yeah. It was like a. Now that was weird.
That
Just a phone ringing
Yeah.
in the middle of a field.
Yeah, so we were in the middle of a field. We were shooting some stuff, and I think Gavin stepped away for a second, but yeah, it was 2 o'clock, around 2 o'clock in the afternoon.
Middle of the afternoon.
Bright day, and out of nowhere, just a phone starts ringing. Yeah, it's not like a
It
newer
wasn't
phone.
It was an old fashioned. It had an old ring to it,
yeah, and
it was in the what the.
there's like none of the buildings have any power whatsoever.
None of them, because we've been in all of them.
We looked around so much, there was nobody there. We thought, hey, maybe somebody left their cell phone in the field.
What?
We didn't find anything. Like a cell phone would have been dead easily, especially that
It
old.
rains, yeah, and it's like it would have had to be.
No, it just rained too. Remember, the days before it would just rain. That's why
oh, yeah.
we
That's
like
why we did that day, because it had been pouring.
yeah, we deduced that.
That was super weird, and we both heard it. That's a weird thing. You never like. Sometimes you're like, yo, did you see that? No.
No, when you came back and like, I just heard a phone ringing out
And
of
then did
nowhere.
it again.
And then you're like,
It did it the second time.
yeah.
And didn't you hear it the second time?
I heard it every time. Yeah.
Oh, wow. I forgot about that.
Yeah.
That was weird. I completely forgot about that. I know there's been a couple times like when there's like an old GoPro clips on one of my hard drives. It's actually probably on the old computer upstairs, but of like us walking in a building, and it was the general's house, and we opened the door. It's like this terrible video, and then just like this big bang happened from like you get it sounded loud but way in the distance. It was like coming from like the top floor,
Wow.
and it was like
a piano just dropped or something.
yeah, like super loud but really far away, if that makes sense. That was a weird one.
But yeah, Forest Haven, that one was also, you were spooked out.
I was big spooked because I heard that girl's voice and everybody heard the footsteps. That was, I think we might have talked about that one.
I heard the footsteps I heard those footsteps and I thought we were done for because
I thought it was the guard or something.
yeah, that place is patrolled, so it's like my first thought is, guard, which is weird because I don't know because we saw afterward the guard pattern is mostly they usually do
just the
main
roads.
They're not gonna have people.
They're not gonna walk through those places.
Just look hunting down people. Second thought is other explorers. It's a popular place.
Yeah, people have been there before.
Been there before, and there's somebody out and they're probably just sticking with us. But most other explorers, they're just loud as fuck, and they're just there to like break shit and spray paint stuff.
It's just a bunch of dumb kids. There's very few people that like go to like document it like we did,
or just like look at it and
or just like enjoy it,
historical value or whatever.
Yeah, that was weird because so what happened was I think we may have talked about it before, but
Children's Hospital.
It was a mental asylum.
Yeah, but we were in the hospital.
Oh yeah, we were in the
Children's wing.
hospital. You're right. Yeah, there were strollers. That's right, there were strollers and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And so a bunch of people died there. Like it's documented. You can look it up, Forest Haven Asylum. And it's been closed for like 40 years or something like that. Completely abandoned. It's like 20 acres, like 25 buildings. And we're in the hospital. The hospital looked like The Walking Dead. It looked like the first scene from The Walking Dead with like that
iconic scene.
Yeah, with just like leaves and everything everywhere. And it was like all the windows are gone. There's like stacks of hospital beds.
Mm-hmm.
Those were freaking creepy. And then obviously you have like the graffiti from other people going. But like we were towards the end of the trip. Everything went bad at the same time. It was going really good, and then everything went bad.
Mm-hmm.
But we were approaching like this remember that giant window, the giant open window, and then I heard a girl's voice, and I looked over to my left, and there was like
all of us.
Yeah, I was like, whoa! It gave me chills, like genuine chills. And I look over at where I heard it because it was like a corner, like a dark door.
Mm-hmm.
The door was open, and we all just sat there for a few seconds, and then we heard footsteps. Like
those footsteps gave me chill because it's exactly how you.
It was just
how
like
it sounded. Yeah,
and we were like, we gotta get the fuck out of here.
Holding our breath, just like what was that? And then it just stopped, which was just the eerie part, and we were just like.
I was waiting for somebody to turn the corner.
Yeah,
that's what I was waiting for.
You said something too.
Yeah, I was like, yo, somebody there?
Yeah,
and then I was like, nah, we gotta get the hell out of here.
Yeah, and we stopped, just like.
And then we ran through that area. We ran through that door.
It was like a parkour chase scene. We ran through like a window. We were just like trying to find the fastest way out.
After the guard saw us.
The guard didn't see us.
We didn't?
No,
well, oh yeah.
It was risky.
We just didn't want him to see us.
Yeah.
We were like, we should probably get out of here. That was a nervous day, bro. That was a great day, actually. Yeah, there was another time up here, actually at my house. This was in middle school. I had two friends over because my basement, I guess, is the coolest back in the day. And it was Noah Coleman, who has actually been on the podcast, and then my friend Nick. And we were over playing outside, playing like Ghost in the Graveyard. So like one guy would hide and the other two would find them, but they had to find them before they got caught. And we played in the middle of the night. And we were in our driveway. Me and Noah were looking at the house from the driveway with our back to like the woods and stuff. Mm-hmm. And it sounded like a giant dude just like thwap, thwap, thwap ran up right next to us. Like right behind us. And we darted. We thought Nick was right behind us. Mm-hmm. And as we run towards the house, and Nick is in the bushes next to the house. And we're like, what did you just do? And he's like, dude, I've been here the whole time. And like he got freaked out after we told him, like genuinely freaked out.
Jesus.
And that was freaking, because it sounded like a guy just ran up, just like right behind us, and we thought it was him because we were playing the game, but that was pretty gnarly. That scared the hell out of me. What about you? You have any? I kind of want to.
I just remember in my grandma's house once. I mean, I couldn't get over the fact that I thought somebody was just standing in the corner staring at me, and it bothered the shit out of me. Like,
Always?
not always.
Or just like
it
one
was
time?
one specific night, and dude, it just paralyzed me of fear. And I would get up, I'd turn on the light, I see that there was something in the corner, so I'm like, okay, your mind's just playing tricks on you. And I did this a couple times. So after like the next couple times, I moved it out of the corner, and I turned it off again, and that thing, the shape of like a person was still there. And I'm just like,
Really?
yeah, I got
That's freaking scary. Because there was something there.
what drove me out of the room was after a little bit just like trying to deal with it. There's an attic, so there's the attic runs through the house,
Yeah.
and so there's these two like doors. They're almost like they're half the size of a regular door.
Oh, like the ones upstairs?
And they're hard to open and close because just so like the heat doesn't get in.
Yeah,
and
and
the
they're
cold.
like big doors.
It's
Yeah.
for
Insulation.
purposes, yeah. And one of the doors just fucking opened, like it
Oh.
cracked open, and I'm just like,
No way.
and I was just like, I'm not fucking with you. I'm not.
I'd be gone, bro.
I was literally just like literally in my head. I was like, I'm sorry, but I'm not fucking doing this. I'm not gonna be a horror movie. I'm gonna do what I say in the horror movies to these dumbass people. I'm just getting the fuck out.
I would leave. I'd be gone.
Yeah.
No, sir. Oh, I remember. Oh, that's. So you just left?
Yeah. My girlfriend, she's had many experiences.
Really?
Yeah, because she tells me that she's clairvoyant, and I'll believe her, but she never told me about like
What is that?
It's have you watched the what's the fucking The Conjuring, the one chick's a
yes,
clairvoyant.
yes.
Yeah, so
The old chick.
yeah, there's the chick, and then there's the guy, the crime fighting duo, the ghost fighting duo.
Yeah. Okay, yes. I
And-
was getting Insidious mixed up.
And
with that.
her mom backs up some of her claims,
Really?
so that's why I believe her. But so yeah,
She's had a bunch.
yeah, she's had a bunch, and yeah, I don't.
But is she like freaked out about them, or are they just like?
She's very good with her spirituality. Like,
So maybe that's
Sure,
why.
she's-
Probably because she's.
I think she's gotten to the point where sometimes she's accepted, sometimes she's way easier to control her emotions with it.
Really.
Yeah, and she's in a
She probably understands it at a different wavelength than we do.
yeah, and she's always just like every time something goes wrong, she always tell me just like it wasn't supposed to happen, which is always
That's a good man. That's a
Which
good.
is-
That's a good way to live.
it's always a grounding thing. It's
Yeah.
just like out of her, because like sometimes she can be very pessimistic,
Mhm.
but she's just like it just wasn't meant to happen. I'm just like, okay.
That's not a bad way to look at things.
I'm usually baffled. It's like you're just not upset about it. It's like it's a bummer, but I mean like you talk about how it's supposed to be. Like that's
Everything's how it's supposed to be.
that's what I try to keep in my mind sometimes. But
That's a hard thing to keep in mind,
Yeah.
especially when things go wrong.
but
But it's really easy to, because when they go right on the other end of it, like that was supposed to happen.
yeah, going back
you
to
know?
what I said, controls everything for me. So when it's like how it's supposed to be.
Yeah,
it's-
when you're like, hey, yo, bro, just go with the flow. You're like, no, no, yeah, that makes a lot.
Another
of sense.
thing is people want to take credit for every success, but they want to blame something else for their failures.
Yes, every success is them. Every failure is somebody else.
I mean, it's always good to look at what it was, but it's always hard for people to say like, okay, this is what I didn't do,
Yeah,
or this is what I should have done.
yeah. That's why I think it's good for us though, because when we look at all of our videos, we hate them all.
Yeah.
You know, for the most
It's never
part,
good enough. And
it's never gonna be good enough, and that's a good way to live, because we're constantly bettering our videos, bettering ourselves, bettering our work, and I think that's a good way to live. But yeah, I know what you mean. That everything is how it's supposed to be. I say that a lot to my girlfriend and to myself, really. When like when this I don't know how your house hunting
How-
experience was.
it was
Like,
the market was it was COVID, so like the market felt pretty shitty. It was like we were going at it for months. The place we're at now was our first option. I saw it and like, hey, this place is amazing. Look at it. She was like, yeah, I saw this early and I wanted to talk to you about it. So we applied for it, but we kind of got discouraged a little bit, just not like feeling like we didn't have enough credit, and we actually didn't. We actually cut it out of our list because we thought we couldn't afford it. But and we looked at other places. No, nothing met our requirements. Nothing we really liked until they actually responded back to us after we already applied, and she went and saw it, and her like they went over, and her mom like basically reassured us that we could afford it. So, and that's where we're at now.
that's awesome.
Yeah.
That's nice. Yeah, we're seeing a lot of, because things are opening back up, so it's on the flip side of that.
Yeah.
There's places that go up and get taken down in 2 days.
But yeah, and
So it's like,
everybody's now moving on it.
yeah. So it's like, yo, we got to jump on every opportunity. Because if we can get one of these 20, that's a win. But at the same time, it's like, I don't want to drop there's some standards that we need to have. Like
Yeah.
parking and
There's tons of things
Yeah.
to take into consideration before you sign like a year lease.
Yeah.
I can't imagine how it is in like college towns, like during like this time now, where kids are like moving in.
Yeah.
They're not living on campus. I wonder how hard it is then.
those places are nuts.
Yeah. But you can hold those, and they're good real estate investments.
Yeah, you just got to deal with the asshole kids.
No, not only that, because you can rent out your house if you need to.
Yeah. See, that's the thing. Like, I would love to get into real estate when I'm older, but there's a lot of money in those college kids' places
Yeah.
because they rent out rooms, not places.
And those kids wreck the fuck out of it. They're losing their security deposit. One thing's broken.
That's the thing. Like, there's a video, guy on YouTube, I forget his name, but there's this guy in Canada with 120 tenants total out of all these places that he has, and he's in like this low income area of Canada, but he owns like, I want to say he probably owns 12 buildings in like a 5-mile radius, but these buildings have like 4 different apartments. Some have 12 apartments, like 120 tenants over like these 12 buildings, so averaging 10 a place, and most of them are student housing, and like they're disgusting. They're trashed every time, but there's a lot of money in them because they're renting out like $400 a room.
Mm-hmm.
Or $300 a room. And that's a lot different than, $1,200 a place.
Yeah.
Because all of a sudden, you turn every room possible, you renovate it a little bit, and you just add doors, and then boom, you're renovating this place, and then you're making 12. You're making way more than 12. You're making like 2,000 versus that 12 if you would have sold it to a family, and then it just keeps coming in. Like,
Yeah.
those locations are pretty interesting.
It's also less reliable though. Like,
Yeah.
college kids.
Yeah. But the other thing though, like, it's kind of a catch-22 because when they're in college, as they drop out, they're gonna stay there, So it's like it's weird.
Daddy will wire some money over.
Yeah, there's gonna be you're gonna find the money some way. Yeah, but it's a good way to live. Everything is how it's supposed to be.
Yeah.
That's my mindset for sure. And I think, like, going back to that whole entrepreneurship thing, like, how often do they tell you, like, have they told you how bad it sucks?
How? Well, the shit of entrepreneurship?
Yeah.
No, I don't even think I have a textbook. I haven't read.
Really?
So I don't really know. Just his first week of class, so I don't really fucking know what's going on. But
Yeah.
I don't think it's going to be anything like what the
It's
real
not going to
world
be
is.
actual real entrepreneurship.
Yeah.
There might be it might be some things that you learn. That's what I hated about school.
Yeah.
I've used nothing from high school. Like, the way I treated the latter part of my senior year,
Mm-hmm.
camera every day, looking at YouTube videos, learning stuff about cameras.
Yeah.
If I would have done that 4 years, bro, we would have had a company 3 years ago,
Yeah.
straight out of high school.
I remember when we first set up Upwork in our that was computer class.
Yes, we set that up in computer
And
class.
then we got bogged down and we didn't really want to do it. But when we looked back like a year later, we had like job offers on there.
Yeah, I'm still getting job offers on there.
Really?
Yeah.
On Cinnabros? No.
My original, yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
It's nuts. Man, I should have neglected high school more.
Yeah.
Because there was so much, nothing. You didn't learn anything.
Yeah.
Maybe you learned a little bit about like sex ed, and maybe, but like nothing applicable.
Well, it depends.
You never learned how to write your taxes.
Well, it depends on, your pathway and our pathway. We obviously didn't see ourselves wanting to go to college, go work the 9 to 5. We
Yeah,
wanted
but
to
still, like,
do
how
our
many
thing.
real world things did you learn? Did you learn how to apply for a place?
Oh, hell no.
You didn't learn. You didn't learn how to change a tire. You
No.
didn't know how to do your taxes. You didn't how to build credit. You didn't learn any of that.
Yeah.
You had one class called health. You learned a little bit about it.
You just had to
that's
fill
it.
up a packet worth of like 7 job applications. Like,
Yeah.
I mean, like if I did it right the first time, pretty sure I can do it again. Like, don't need to do 7 of them.
Yeah. School sucks. I wish school could be treated as the problem is school is a one size fits all because there's money involved. And that's the issue. If you had a tutor, if every person in the world had a tutor, had their own personal tutor that was specific to what they wanted to do,
Mm-hmm.
bro.
I don't like how little teachers get paid in America.
Yeah.
Because, like, my mom, she's a teacher, so it might be biased, but, like, most teachers I've talked to, they're genuinely passionate about their work. Like,
They have to be.
they care about the kids and stuff like that.
Even if they're a miserable person, they're not doing. You have to go to school for it.
Mm-hmm.
It's not like being like
you have to like being around people.
You do, because if not, I mean, unless you hate yourself, you want to do something you hate, but because you have to put in a lot of time. I mean, you got to do 4 years of college just to get there,
Yeah.
and that's not even. There's some people that do it because mom and dad were. I mean, I used to want to be a principal because my father is one, but those people deserve a lot, and it's a hard job. I would never do that. Not in a million years.
Yeah.
I don't have enough patience for people who are inept.
I think we talked about starting like, what's it called, master classes. I would generally just like to put together like an actual like just class just teaching like knowledge. I mean, it's what it is, but like something more has more organization, but not really like charging for it. Not like being the clickbaity. I mean, Sam Coulter just made a master class.
Did he?
Yeah.
On what?
Being Sam Coulter.
Oh, well. Sam Coulter can do whatever the hell he wants.
Yeah, but I mean,
I don't agree with it.
I feel like it's
I know it's a money ploy,
bending low, like,
but at the same time, I'm part of full-time filmmaker. That's a course.
yeah.
I think listen, there are gems out there for sure.
Yeah,
But
I mean,
the problem is there's money out there.
there's people who
then it attracts everybody.
there's people who have stuff to value, like, you Parker Wallback, and there's Sam Coulter, who's always like giving stuff away for free, or you like their style of videos.
Mm-hmm.
But then there's people who's just like, they picked up a camera and just like, everybody else is doing this. I can figure it out. And
And then
they watch a couple YouTube videos and tutorials, and they're like, okay, write that down, and then they go to a master class. They're just like, okay, gotta do
I've seen a couple that are very almost cut and dry
Basic.
of Parker Wallbeck's full-time filmmaker, and I'm like,
I've seen
is
one
this full-time filmmaker?
I've
And then it's something completely different.
I've seen one with the same logo.
Yeah.
With the same logo, same like style, like if you know what it is.
Yeah. And it's like, what the heck?
Yeah.
That's the problem. It's the same thing with entrepreneurship. It's a very if you just look up the word like entrepreneur,
Mhm.
it's somebody with a lot of money. It's like Jeff Bezos and Warren Buffett and Elon Musk. It's that kind of stuff. But they don't, you don't actually know that it takes years and years and years and
Like,
years.
You're not seeing the grind, you're seeing the glory.
Yes. And if that, I think if I was teaching like a class on entrepreneurship, it would
Make
be
them eat shit the first day.
Huh?
Make them eat shit the first day.
Yeah, like I would say the first day is like, if you guys don't want to struggle for years and years and years to get what you want, leave the class.
No, you give them something that everybody would obviously
Everybody would fail at. Yeah, that would be the perfect thing. And be like, no, and then tell them to do it like 5 times.
Yeah.
Tell them to do it a multitude of times, and that maybe 1% of them succeed, and it should be hard and tedious.
Yeah.
Because that's what it is.
Let's put them through the gauntlet for like, right out the gate. It's not like, let's go over the syllabus. It's, all right, here's a plate of shit.
Yeah.
Here's a spoon. Eat up.
Here's a circle. Put that into a square, and let me know when you're done.
I want you to put this hallway down a hot dog.
Yeah, and right now the curriculum is this is how easy it is to throw a hot dog down a hallway.
Yeah.
Only a few of you will get that reference.
No, I think everybody's gonna get that reference. Oh, that's a pretty common saying.
Oh, is it?
Yeah.
That was from like a movie. It might be. I don't know. So what's coming up, Logan?
What's coming up?
Besides me going to Maine.
I don't know. I just excited to make some videos. I mean, we obviously getting back into it. We had a 11-hour shoot day yesterday. I mean,
That's gonna be some good stuff.
we're definitely gonna need to. We're building the website, so that's gonna be done real soon. And
The
then
website's already up
yeah.
at thedailyadvantagemedia.com, but we are finalizing it and then getting it to a point where we're happy with it.
Then I think then we can start really pitching the clients, and I think also what we could do is just make a media kit, just
Yep.
send people,
Quick, easy media kit.
DM 100 people that,
Mm-hmm.
and just see what they think. If they ignore it, they ignore it. But
We only need one.
Yeah.
To open a door like Exercise Simple, or
yeah,
we definitely have a lot of people in our bank that we've connected with that we can network through. I mean, I've gotten wedding inquiries from people that I worked with in past jobs two jobs ago.
Yeah.
A year and a half ago, and they're like, "Hey, I remember you were doing this," and then all of a sudden you tell them, they're like, "Yeah, I got a company, I got a team," and they're like, "Holy shit, this is a good, this kid went places."
yeah, and people are happy when they find out you're not a one-man band. You got
Yeah,
a team.
there's we can bring a lot of value, and we can bring, sometimes I like that about us. We're versatile. We can be like, yeah, I can get you one shooter, I can get you two shooters, I can get you three shooters, I can get you five people
I
and
mean,
a photographer.
It was what keeps people coming back. 'Cause they like having a crew and somebody they know, somebody they trust that they can keep going back to.
And be able to do a multitude of things.
Yeah.
If we were like, yeah, we can do edits. That's it.
Yeah.
We can do cool, flashy edits. And then you're like, I want a video edited for a funeral. Oh,
Let me put a spin transition
yeah,
on
let
that.
me throw a spin transition.
Like
into
Sam
this-
Quarter's zoom transition to the dead guy.
into the casket.
Then back zoom out to the crying mother and zoom something nauseating.
Yeah, we can. We try to do it all. That's
What's your favorite market for the shooting and just sector? I don't know. Ads are pretty cool. Those are a little too cut and dry though.
I like the advertising though.
Yeah.
Okay, it's a catch. I like advertising. I like shooting ads when there's control implemented. Like when we shot our crowdfunding campaign for Active Life.
Mhm.
That was a cool one because we were a part of the process. From the first second, we were a part of the process.
I feel like there's more failure there to learn from.
Yeah.
Because they don't do well.
We don't do well.
Yeah.
We don't look,
We don't look good. I mean, Active Life, we were blessed to have us back just because they loved our style, they loved our drive. But that
they were up and coming. We were up
that
and coming.
New York shoot, we didn't use that footage.
Yeah, that New York shoot, and it was partially due to COVID because their I think their deadline was like June.
Well, and it's also because their lack of communication. He was jumping the gun while the marketing team back in whatever place they were in were just like, this doesn't line up.
Yeah. So I mean, it's communication, but on our end there was communication issues, but the knowledge you get from it, that's worth something.
Yeah.
And that just goes back to the whole thing. Like, failure is a great teacher. I love failure.
Oh yeah.
Even though when it happens, you're like, this sucks. Sometimes it's for the best. It's been a good podcast, man.
Yeah, this is pretty cool.
It's been a business podcast.
Oh yeah, if I gotta catch up a little bit.
Yeah. Well, once I get back, we'll start kicking it and start a lot more because we'll be back, and then we can just create schedule things. And
Did you like doing that? I know when we were creating content, we had stuff that was obviously driven for the podcast. But did you like doing the stuff that was
the photography and stuff?
more creative stuff? And just
Yeah, I like those, the challenges and the spontaneous shoots on the side of a road down at the creek when it was frozen.
yeah.
Stuff like that was really cool because you learn stuff from that.
Mhm.
And documenting that and documenting because it's with everything we do. I don't want to give the idea that, hey, this is how you live your life. I like giving the idea like, hey, this is how we're living our life. This is how we feel. This is how we run our business.
Yeah. I don't want to give
you know?
like yeah, everything's opinion
I don't want to
based.
make it a master class here.
Yeah. My thing is I don't want to seem like we're not being honest people. I don't want to seem like we're just another person who's just trying to give away, like trying to be something that they're
we're
not.
Yeah.
Or just trying to, just use this as a platform, like to get view, like being a YouTuber, just using this, I want to get views, I want to do this for the rest of my life because I don't
Yeah.
want to go do a job. I mean, honestly, I think we just feel passionate about something, and that's
I think if we weren't, we would have quit this like a year ago.
yeah, and I
You know?
really just want to get that. I just hope people know that, and they're not just thinking, oh, he's just trying to. The Cinema Bros are just
Trying to make $1.
yeah, another way to get famous or whatever.
Yeah, I mean, we haven't made a single money off the single money.
A single money off the.
We haven't made a single dollar off the podcast.
We're actually losing money.
We don't even plan to right
Yeah.
now. Like, it's not even in our plans to start monetizing
I've
this stuff.
brought you ideas to like, things we could expand on, but right now we're just like, it's
Build the
patience.
brand, yeah.
Patience again. We just gotta master what we're doing.
Build the
Yeah.
community, build the brand, build the
Yeah.
people who are listening, which we appreciate all of you, and take it from there.
Yeah, and a lot of gratitude. Thanks for listening. I mean, we just hit 1,000 views.
Yeah, we had 1,000 views, 1,000 downloads a couple of weeks ago.
Yeah.
We're growing. We're back at it.
Another thing, we didn't lose like Instagram followers very many off of the COVID thing where we
Nothing.
stopped. Yeah,
We still gained a few.
it was it's that building a genuine audience rather than just like, please listen to me.
Yeah, like people that were excited when we got back.
Yeah.
That was cool. People being like, finally they're back. Getting back and listening to the podcast was
Yeah.
really awesome. Yeah. So yeah, we appreciate you guys listening, and
This has been fun.
we ran an hour, man.
That was easy. Honestly,
That was a good hour.
I thought it was too.
Yeah, that was a really good one. Yeah, if you guys enjoyed, let us know at the Daily Advantage Media on Instagram and Facebook. And yeah, anything else, Logan?
Just reach out to us for anything. Just want to talk. Just want to hang out sometime. Cool with that. I don't give a
Yeah,
shit.
yeah.
You want to be on the podcast?
Let us know. We'll get you on. All right, guys. Thanks for listening. We'll catch you in the next one.
Yep.
See ya.